just take, before we go back into open session,
Give me a time.
I will, before we go back. Okay. Cut it off. No, I'm just kidding. All right, well, what do you guys have, 7:12?
7:12?
Yep, 7:12. We'll go back into open session at 7:12. I'm going to look over the next 4 items. Is there anything that Bo needs to hang here for?
No,
Well, how much of these, y'all just gonna be there 5 minutes?
no.
Well, we're going to be
a-
on the phone with somebody. That might take 15, 20 minutes.
No, I don't think so. No, I don't think this
Well, I
is,
feel bad I'm leaving, you guys have to
Well,
keep working.
Yeah,
oh, we forgot to open those.
what, you can open before you go.
okay. Have a good evening.
So we'll move to agenda
All right,
item
thank you,
number
Bo.
17, discussion with government professional solutions for management recruitment. We're going to use your phone, correct?
Right.
Yes, ma'am. Are you guys okay with him leaving?
Sure,
Yeah.
this is just gonna be a,
There's not really legal.
Pardon?
Even Jason can leave if he wants.
What'd you say, Stephen?
It's not anything legal.
Oh, yeah. I said that's not.
No.
Yeah, because he wasn't. And when they be shorter if they don't answer the phone.
Well, his chair's going down again.
it wasn't.
Yeah, those pistons don't,
They don't last long.
no. My office chair, same thing.
And it's like, it's the way it. Brett, this is Dolores with the City of Weimar. Are you still available? Okay. Well, my city council is in our chambers, and I'm going to put you on speakerphone to talk to them. Okay? Okay.
Let's see, if you'll just say something so we can see if you're loud enough.
Good evening, how are you guys doing?
You are great,
Good.
everyone
That's
can
fine.
hear.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Can everybody hear me all right?
Yes, you're
Yes.
good, you're good.
Yes.
So, no one's going to introduce themselves, they're just my council sitting in here. And basically, what we want you to do is not give us your sales pitch, but just educate us on what your company would provide for council with the recruiting process. And then they probably will have a few questions, and after that, then we will thank you for your time, okay?
Okay, fair enough. Well, both my business partner and I, we're both former city managers, and we've come up through the ranks, going back to the early 2000s as assistants, and then, on our way up to city manager. I made my way from the Kansas City metro area to Texas, and my partner went west to Colorado. And I am based out of Cabrillo City, Texas, just southeast of Dallas, about halfway between Dallas and Tyler. My business partner is based out of Colorado Springs area. And we formed TPS approximately 5-6 years ago. And we just believed, that, knowing that we're former city managers, we believed that we could do a better job than what is currently being done out there in the professional consulting role. And in regards to professional recruitment, our process is very simple. We spend time getting to know you guys at the organization as a governing body, as a community. So that way we know what types of employees or what types of candidates actually are going to be the best fit for you and ultimately what you're looking for. And our step-by-step process, I don't know, you said don't do a sales pitch, but
No, you can, it's okay, it's okay.
but I can't tell you, I cannot not tell you about our step-by-step process. So, initially that first step, we would, to get to know you guys and a direction of what you guys want to see in your next city manager, we would send you guys what we call is a questionnaire. And it's an opportunity, it has approximately 12, 13 questions on it. And it provides us information, both from what the type of person you're looking for, leadership characteristics, expertise, background, everything and anything in the sun. Okay, it's going to require you and kind of force you to provide that information, and that will begin to paint the picture for what we will ultimately be out looking for. Once that is done, we use that information, that data, to create our ideal candidate profile, and also our grading matrix, okay? Once we draft the ideal candidate profile and grading matrix, we would send that to you for you guys to review and approve, or you know, bless it, you can line on it, whichever.
Ask him to hold.
And then once you guys do that,
Brett, hold on. We have a train going by, hold on.
my childhood home was right next to the railroad tracks. I'm used to that.
There you go. Sing
Okay.
Kumbaya so we know when they can hear you. You guys good?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. You're good. You're good.
Okay. So once you guys approve and bless the ideal candidate profile and grading matrix, that will green light me to begin working on and drafting a recruitment brochure, okay? And now once I get that draft of the recruitment brochure done, I will send that to you guys for you guys to review and approve. Once you guys approve that, that is when we would begin advertising, okay? And just a suggestion as far as advertising, locations and places, obviously you're going to want to advertise with TML, I would assume. That's a great one-stop shop for in-state candidates, but I would also strongly encourage you to advertise with the International City and County Managers Association, or ICMA. That is a very, very good and very high-level professional organization for city managers, okay? So, once we come to that point, the advertising period is roughly 30 days. After that 30-day period lapses, and during that 30-day period, as I'm receiving application packets, I'm grading them based off of what you guys have approved within the grading matrix. So that way I know I am grading those candidate application packets based off of your guys' wishes and desires of what you want to see in your next city manager, okay? So after that 30-day period lapses, I will come to you and we will have a sit-down face-to-face meeting where I will go over the entire candidate pool. And we try to break it up as best we can in 3 different tiers, or 3 different levels. There's a third tier, second tier, and then a top tier. And, not everybody in the top tier necessarily are candidates that you would want to, select and identify as semifinalists. There might be, a candidate in that, middle tier, that second tier that you guys would want to, see go on in the process or learn a little bit more about. Most of those folks in that third tier or the bottom tier, most of those folks don't even meet the minimum qualifications for you, okay? Unless there was a potential, local candidate that you guys felt obligated to move on the process, most of those folks I would suggest that you would even consider them, okay? And then once you guys select and identify a group of semifinalists, I make contact with those individuals after that, and they get a homework assignment from me. That homework assignment is a candidate questionnaire. It's about a 15-question questionnaire, and it forces those candidates, those semifinalists, to go into much greater detail about themselves, about their backgrounds, rather than the highlights that they put in the resume and cover letters, okay? I try to give them roughly a week or at least 1 weekend to complete that, because, if they're currently working, sometimes it's a little difficult to get that done during the week. But also, while they're working on that, I also set up a virtual meeting with each of those semifinalists, where my business partner and I will meet with each of those semifinalists on Zoom, and we record these virtual meetings, and we inform those semifinalists that we will record them, and we do share them with our clients. In this case, it would be you guys in this example. I would share those virtual recordings with you guys after we were completed with them, and then all of the data that we received on those semifinalists, including their candidate questionnaire forms, I would get that to you guys so you guys can review and watch those videos. And then after that, you guys, or we would meet again for you guys to go over that data, discuss that data, as an entire governing body, and that's where you guys would identify and select a group of finalists to continue on in the process, which would ultimately be individuals that you would be invited to interviews. And, that number could be 4, 5, 6, whatever number you want is really kind of up to you guys. You don't typically see that number go greater than 6, but regardless of whatever that number is, for those individuals that you select as finalists, those individuals will have one more homework assignment from me, assignment is simply a due diligence questionnaire. And it's a yes or no questionnaire. And it's the last ditch opportunity for those individuals to disclose anything to me before I start a background check on. Because if I find anything that's a red flag during the background check, the first phone call I'm making is to you guys to let you guys know about that, whatever that red flag would be, and then to ask you if you still want them to continue on the process. So if they divulge whatever the red flag is up front, at least they're not trying to hide it. Okay, they're being upfront and honest about it. But then that would still ultimately come down to a decision for you guys if you wanted to consider it any further anyway. But during that time frame of that last homework assignment for the finalists, that's also when we begin the background check on those finalists. And that background check can take approximately 10 to 14 days. Once those background checks are completed, I will take all that information and everything gathered up to that point in time, all of my communication with them, via email, I'll do internet searches, I'll do YouTube searches, social media searches, any type of search you can think of, we're doing that search. And we are putting all of this data into what we call final candidate reports. And you will receive a final candidate report for each of the finalists. So let's just say hypothetically there's 5 finalists. You will receive a final candidate report, 5 of them, 1 for each of the 5 finalists. And you will receive that before the in-person interviews were to take place. Okay? That is a very brief description. Are there any questions?
So you said there's a 1-year guarantee on the candidate chosen?
No, we put a 2-year on that.
For the 2-year?
Yeah, 24 months.
What happens if we don't like any of your, say, 5 finalists? Where do we go from there?
Well, first off, they're not my 5 finalists, they would be your 5 finalists. So each step, when there is a cut to be made, it is you guys that are identifying those individuals that will continue on the process, okay? But in the event we get to the end of the race at the finish line, if you guys don't like any of them, we can re-advertise it again, and we can start over. That's strictly up to you guys, and we're happy to do that. And there would be, I know you're not asking about this, and I don't know if anybody was gonna ask about this, but I won't go into great details, but I will tell you, our fee is a fixed fee. We don't add additional fees to our base charge. And we submit invoices for 3 invoices throughout this entire recruitment period. The first one is upon execution of the contract. The second one is after you guys select and identify a group of semifinals. And the third final invoice only comes after you guys have hired your next city manager. So coming back to your question, sir, if you don't like any of them, any of the finalists that you meet and interview with in person, and we have to re-advertise, that third invoice for me is not coming until we get to that point again. So
Can you monetize those 3?
Yes.
That's what I want to know.
yes,
Well, what happens if we pick a city manager and 6
What?
months late? Go ahead.
I was wondering what the dollar figures were associated with the 3 levels.
Yes.
well, the total the total fee that we charge for a city manager position is $23,500, and we would break that up into 3 installments.
Okay,
Okay.
fair enough.
So if we,
No, go ahead, sir.
I was just gonna say, if we pick a city manager and 6 months in, not up to our standards, is there any kind of, you said 2-year guarantee, so y'all would start that process back over?
Yep, we would start that process up again. At that point in time, if that were to happen, that actually happened with your neighbor LaGrange. I don't know if you
Yes,
guys
we know.
did that or followed that. I know it was in the papers down there pretty heavily. But, so we did that again a second time, approximately a year later for them. And there was no additional, fee associated with that other than we did charge for actual costs, like my mileage, driving from down there, for advertising and doing the background checks. And then the in-person interviews were a 2-day process that they chose, so there was 1 night of a hotel as well. So other than those actual costs, there is no $23,500 again, okay?
Okay.
I'm looking around the room, they're all looking at each other.
How many city managers have you filled for cities in the past?
Besides the range.
That's,
With a population of about 2,000.
about 5 or 6
Do you
for
have,
that size population.
do you have any brochures or anything, or a website on your services that you're able to send to, I guess, Dolores, to send to council so that we can look at it closer? And maybe even some examples of the cities that you've helped, our size?
I'm happy to do that.
Good.
Okay.
How difficult was LaGrange?
You know,
Not the city, the folks, were just like the process.
That first time, and first off, I think Will Green, the city council, is outstanding. I love all of those folks.
We do too.
And I've gotten to work with those folks not once but twice. Not that I, didn't want to work with them a second time, but, it's just the way the cookie crumbled, so to say. But,
Right.
the first time going through that process with them, I think there was a lot of shock and awe with them because they had their previous city manager, and I don't know if you know his name or know him, but I'm going to leave the names out of this conversation.
Sean, they all know Sean. Oh, well, I do, but I
Yes.
think most of us do, yes.
Okay. He was there for a long time, and he had things established and set up the way he liked them or wanted them, right, wrong, or different, it doesn't matter. He was just there for a long time. And I think just a lot of people looked to him to, do whatever it is that needed to be done, and both staff and elected officials somewhat. And one thing that he did not do during his tenure there was he didn't take pay increases with the employees. And that, in the long run, that was a big sticker shock for them to learn what the fair market value is for a city manager. For a city, comparable to the size and complexity of the city of LaGrange. And that was a big sticker shock. And initially, we didn't advertise the salary range because they couldn't decide on one. And I'm talking the first time, not this second time, okay? And, I talked with them and tried to get them to understand, hey, it's very important for you guys to at least be on the same page with the salary range, not necessarily have to put it in the advertisement materials, but because that's going to answer a lot of questions for any prospective candidates out there that are looking to apply. And knowing you guys' background and knowing the size of the city, and I've done recruitments in and around that Central Texas area, in and around Austin, and I told them a range, and they were very, very shocked. They really liked that. And ultimately, they hired who they hired that first time around, and it didn't work out. A year later, I met with them again before we started down this path again. And before I could even ask about the salary range, they were telling me, Brett, we should have listened to you a year ago about this. And we're not even going to, heckle about this. We're just going to put it up there where we know it needs to be. And they did that. And, I don't know if you guys know the manager that they recently have signed and hired here within the last month. If my memory is correct, I believe it was $185,000 annual base salary. Does that sound right to you guys?
They all said yes.
So with that, I don't mean to cut you off, but with that said, speaking of salaries, what is your opinion of a salary range for a city our size?
Well, that's a good question. I would need to do a little bit more research on you guys and the complexity within your organization. One thing I think I know about you is do you guys have an electric utility?
Yep.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. And so does LaGrange, okay? And LaGrange even has gas royalties to some degree. Do you guys have any gas royalties?
No, sir.
Okay. Well, knowing, and my first city manager job was with a city that had an electric utility, and we provided electrical production and electrical distribution. And city managers in this profession that actually have electric So that alone is, I don't know if you guys, what you guys' population size, I don't think you need to be up where LaGrange is, but, you know, I think maybe that, I don't know, 135 to 165 range. And I'm just ballparking off the top of my head right now. So, and I have no idea what your previous manager was making, no clue. I don't even know who that individual is, who it was.
Did you hear that noise?
We all feel.
I did not.
All
I
their,
did not hear it.
all their chairs fell over.
Well, I mean, what do you
Just
guys
kidding.
comfortable
No,
with? I guess maybe that's the question.
Council wants to answer?
I think we know six figures. I mean, at least speaking for myself, I never thought we'd get someone for less than 100,000. But I will say it's probably on lower end of the six figure.
Low end.
Very low.
Okay, then what if you guys at least thought about, you don't have to decide anything this evening, but what if you at least thought about, you know, a salary range of maybe 105 to 135, or maybe 105 to 140, something like that, that would give you a little wiggle room if you needed it. You might not even need it, you know, I don't know. You know, that's always something that's a tough question to answer.
Well, sure it is. It's tough for you and it's tough for council too. Yeah, that's,
Yeah, and you know, one thing I always tell everybody is, you know, you can decide and agree on whatever range you're comfortable with, but at the end of this process, if there is one candidate that rises to the top that all of you like, that all of you, you know, are on the same page with and about, and this person is currently making, you know, let's just say 135,000 wherever he or she is currently working at, you know, they're probably not going to make a move either across the state of Texas or from out of the state of Texas for a $5,000 to $2,000 pay increase. So, you know, if you guys agree that, hey, this is our next person, then you might have to be prepared to, you know, go a little further north.
yes, sir.
Make sure you get who you want.
Well, that's where some guidance from you will come because you're the more expert at interviewing and hiring people for that position than we are.
Yep, and when we get to that process, I'm happy to, you know, assist and help and answer any questions that you guys might have. And by the time we get to that point in this process, you know, we're going to be on a first name basis. And you know, everybody, I hope, would be comfortable, you know, speaking frankly and just be open about it, you know.
Okay, well, great. I just went around the room and asked if they were all good with questions and stuff. Everybody gave me a nod, so we thank you very much for your time and waiting for us. We just had a little extension in our meeting, but we were all good. All right?
Okay,
And Dolores will be reaching back out to you depending on kind of what they decide.
that's perfectly fine.
Those brochures.
And tomorrow I will send an email to Doris with that information that you requested. That way she'll have it, okay?
All right,
Thank
thank you
you.
very much.
Thank you for your time.
Have a good evening.
Hey, you're welcome. You guys have a wonderful rest of your meeting.
Alrighty.
Bye-bye.
Jesus.
Okay. Let's go to agenda item number 18, discussion and possible action on negotiating contract with firm on city manager selection. So it's just discussion time now, unless you guys
We
want to.
need to see more information
Yeah.
from him.
I'd like to see
About
those
those cities.
brochures.
Yeah.
in-
About the cities that they landed.
I really like it that it's a 2-year guarantee. You know, I know LaGrange went through some hard times finding that, and I don't wish for my constituents or even any one of us to go through that again. But the fact that they would cover it and guarantee it for 2 years is pretty nice. You know, us interviewing one individual or two individuals and narrowing it down just to one, we would have, what he said, maybe 5 or 6 on the high side, and they're professionals at interviewing. I really feel inclined to really explore this a little bit more.
I'd like to see the brochures.
Yeah.
But this all, I'm writing notes and stuff, but,
He's gonna send it to me
yeah,
tomorrow.
that's
and
why I
I'll
said
forward it to you.
you can get it out to us.
It's, at the end of the day, his job is to find us a city manager that we like. He may not necessarily care about what that current city manager
thing is we have to sit down with them and, you know, if you get somebody that's gonna lead your team, you know, this happens at schools all around the world, that they hire coaches and their pay keeps going up. You know, look at what the superintendent makes. Look at whatever, look at, I mean, if we're talking about lives here, kind of like a school. Those are children at a school, though these are also children and adults, of course. This person is going to be in charge of the police department, our utilities, and our interior staff here. I want somebody good. Let me rephrase it. I want somebody great. And I think that's our best shot of finding greatness.
So, what, he listed TML.
Then he didn't go anyways.
You know, he's got connections with city managers and that, the
I
other
know,
city
but he
managers.
didn't name other places that he puts this out. TML
That's
was,
about what I could see on
yeah,
their website.
and we're using TML, so,
And I personally have zero desire to hire somebody out of state.
no.
Oh, no, I'm with you on that.
I'm sorry, I looked at you because I know that's been in your comments before. Don't want to come out of state. No, I'm with, I support that.
But, you know, this interview process, you're gonna get more hands-on and more time spent with the candidates. I think that's, you know, everywhere I've worked, and when I was a manager, we didn't hire anybody until we interviewed them 3 times. And then they went to a superior above you to get interviewed the 4th time, just to work at a phone company. So, I mean, just doing one interview with a person, getting that kind of salary, being in charge of that much, don't cut it with me.
Any more discussion?
I think we need more information.
I do.
Because it's an action.
Reality. You talking about,
No, that's
Toe
about
taps.
it.
Oh, it's,
oh,
so,
that's something else.
so we,
Yeah.
discussion anymore? And it's a potential
I-
action item. Action could be nothing. And just Dolores is waiting to get more information to, once you get it, to forward out to them.
Yeah.
That's
Right.
kind of what I'm hearing.
Yes.
But Stephen, if you're wanting to make a motion, that's obviously still an option for you.
Well, I think it's only fair to make sure we do our due diligence and see
Okay.
what this man has to offer. And that we're all on board and feel comfortable with it.
I'm being fair to you because
No, thank you.
you were making the most conversation,
Just-
so, and
I
supporting
think
it, so.
it's an important
Yeah.
decision.
Okay, so I'll call for a motion if there is one. Okay, I'll make a second call. Okay, hearing none, no action is taken on agenda item. Move to agenda item 19, announcements.
Okay, there's going to be the Community Shredded event on Saturday, April the 27th from 9 to 12 over here on the library parking lot, like Mike did last year. Seemed quite successful, so that we're going to do that again this year. And then Gadinki is on May 10th and 11th, just for
Question,
one day.
question I forgot to ask, City Mayor, I guess this isn't even on the agenda, but election, when does that filing close?
The 16th.
Next Friday.
And has anybody filed?
We had 2 file for place 2, Stephen and Carl Christian, and then Kevin filed for his position.
Is there gonna be any, the police department used to do that, the drug, bringing all the unwanted pills back. Where y'all dispose of pills? Not that I have any, I don't have any.
You know about that?
No, like, I mean, I have,
Put them in the toilet.
I don't put those in the toilet, huh? Oh, the county did it?
Don't we have
Gotcha.
some box or something over there, bag or something that they
A
pick up
medicine.
occasionally? Did they take it last time?
It's just it's deceased parents, and I don't
I
want all the
wouldn't
stuff.
either, but
I hope I don't ever have to take it, but I just.
Dolores will look into it.
What do you do with
We can
this?
look at it.
And I
Or the
just don't
chief
wanna
will
put it down the toilet.
Dig a hole, bury it in the garden.
I know, that's why I said, I don't.
Big plants grow.
So, okay, that was that question. And Dolores, can you check to see if the Peace on Earth can come, do we have Valentine or spring?
I don't know what, but we'll check on it.
Okay.
Danny, put a work order for them to do the signs,
I
the
had
banners.
3 people tell me and I never noticed it, and I dawned down.
Well, I intended to, but when I was at home, I thought about
Oh, okay, I was-
it. But I forget when I go to work.
I'll make a motion now, we adjourn.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to adjourn at 7:43.